This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to the Sunday edition of the channel. As the Battle of Alberta did not go our way last night as Oilers fans, but like I said last night in the post game, and like I said in my community tab post, if you're reading that this morning, is simply put to watch that as an Oilers fan in southern Alberta. That was an absolute treat. Let me tell you, for the fact of no side in the battle was comfortable until that final buzzer went and it was solidified that the Flames had won. I mean, the Oilers were pushing all third period long, and I mean, realistically, after Stuart Skinner came into net, the Oilers were pushing all game long. Now, that said, we'll stop right there because I want to throw this your way right now before we get into Stuart Skinner. I wanted to ask you, if you're new to the channel, I want you to consider hitting the subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. We'll have recaps, discussions, everything all season long. There's a whole laundry list of coverage already this season, so if you want to consider, hey, this isn't the worst Oilers talk I've ever heard, consider hitting that subscribe button and sticking around for some more of it coming soon. And if you're new to the channel or returning and you haven't clicked on the bell to get notifications, if that's your kind of thing too, go right ahead and do that if you please. So, for the Oilers, last night, Stuart Skinner, big story, right? Stuart Skinner was the probably best story out of that hockey game for the Oilers because most certainly Jack Campbell was not. Jack Campbell, 7 saves, 11 shots against, 4 goals against, and a .636 save percentage in 10 minutes. We're not talking about half a game. We're not talking about the first period. We're talking about half of the first period. Jack Campbell gets lit up for 4 goals on less than 12 shots. That is, in a word, rough. That one was tough to watch. And obviously, too, I think it was tougher to watch because you saw it start the exact same way against Vancouver. And I think that's exactly why Jack Campbell got pulled last night, was the fact that it was exactly the same way as Vancouver, in the matter of fact of he makes the first save and then shot 1 goes in and then bang, 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 not too long after, those 3 or second, third, and fourth goals for the Calgary Flames came in. And then a tale of two sides goaltending for the Oilers last night. Stuart Skinner comes in, and I mean, you can get all the fancy stats you want because they are all there. You can get anything you want on Skinner last night, but simply boiled down for me, the average hockey fan who watched the game, is he stood in there and let the Oilers create their comeback momentum. He made save after save. He made every save that came his way for 31 saves on 31 shots against in 48 minutes of hockey. So he's talking about pitching a shutout in relief of Jack Campbell, and that is one heck of a way to start A, your season, and B, pick up your goaltending tandem teammate who just had a rough start to his first Battle of Alberta. So that's a huge gift for the Oilers to see Stuart Skinner come in, and that is, my friends, where we get to the meat and potatoes of today's discussion, is the fact of who do you start on Tuesday against the Buffalo Sabres. And I think it's quite clear after last night that, you know what, you just give Jack Campbell that chance to kind of sit on the bench, just relax, don't get out there and have it happen a third time in a row, because right, his goaltender psyches are a whole different thing, and you just had a goaltender in Stuart Skinner come in and give you the best replacement level hockey you can get, the hockey you wished you would have gotten from the starting whistle. So for Mr. Jack Campbell, I think it's one of those things of he deserves a night off. Not necessarily to blame him for his performance, but just allow Stuart Skinner to kind of take home that earned ice time, right? That's always with your backup. You're looking for your backup to earn more ice time. And in a video previous in the summer when I was saying, what goaltender are the Oilers looking for? Are they looking for a starter or are they looking for a backup? And I talked heavily about Jack Campbell being the backup to Stuart Skinner. Everybody called that ludicrous at the time, But this is now the chance the Oilers have to almost test the theory I was having where Stuart Skinner might be already the guy. Yeah, you're paying Jack Campbell $5 million, but is Stuart Skinner the guy you want to run out there for 60 games in a season at this point? No. But if you want to run him out there for 40 games and he's going to win you 55 to 65% of your hockey games, well, guess what, guys? That is exactly what we had last year out of both goaltenders. And guess what? That is enough to push you all the way to the third round of the Stanley Cup final or Stanley Cup playoffs, as we found out last year. Crazy, right? Is the fact that the Oilers could do that with a goaltending tandem that splits time. And that goaltending tandem was Koskinen and Smith. Well, now you've got Jack Campbell, who, despite being blown up technically in both games for 7 goals in 2 games and is a 1-1 record, and the Oilers still somehow have outscored opponents in the 2 games combined. Don't let that slip your mind either. Is in the fact he's a great goaltender. Just you don't want to damage that psyche early on in the season, so let him sit on the bench. Let Stuart Skinner start his first game of the season. Let him have earned that ice time. That backup earning more ice time. And I do not think at all it is worst case scenario if your backup earns more ice time. And even if your backup, Stuart Skinner, as a young rookie goaltender, ends up getting that full split time ice time. If you go 41 and 41 for Campbell and Skinner, I assume your results are going to be just as good, if not better, than running Campbell even 60 and Skinner 40 or something north and south of those two numbers. So for the Oilers, is there a goaltending controversy? Not at all in my mind. I think this was an inevitability for the Oilers, is that Stuart Skinner was going to step in at some point when Jack Campbell had a little bit of a bobble and earn the next start. And I think this is the natural evolution of a young goaltender, is you got to take the opportunity that you're given and run with it. And I would be very sad come Tuesday to see Stuart Skinner not starting against the Buffalo Sabres, because B2, it's the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, you can talk about them getting a little bit better and stuff, but it's not like the Buffalo Sabres are the favored team to win the Stanley Cup or anything this year. So I don't see why you have to run out your starter who's given up 7 goals to start the season in 2 games. I think this is a perfect game for Stuart Skinner to be rewarded for coming in into the Battle of Alberta and absolutely stepping up and getting the job done. Right? The Oilers do not even sniff that game all game long if Stuart Skinner comes in and gives up 2 goals. Right? No chance. But the fact of the Oilers starting late and Stuart Skinner coming in and just balling out, like cracked out of his skull kind of hockey from the 10-minute mark of the first period all the way through to the last 2 minutes before he was yanked for the empty net and extra skater. Man, the guy was unreal all the way home. 31 saves in relief, right? So you got to think about that as well. For the Oilers, I think Stuart Skinner's gone out there and earned the next start, and I don't think at all it's a goaltending controversy, not in my mind, simply because I wanted Stuart Skinner to be the starter. So the fact that Jack Campbell is there as an insurance policy Tuesday night in case Skinner kind of messes up or bobbles, don't mind me at all. I think that's phenomenal. I think that's great. And now we get to see if that is indeed the right move, or if Jay Woodcroft will stand by the $5 million man, the starter for the Oilers, Jack Campbell. Folks, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I guess quickly, what are your thoughts on this? Because that would be the interesting get here. I've been pretty staunch in the fact that, yeah, you know what? It's Stuart Skinner or bust for me as the Oilers evolve along the length of Jack Campbell's contract. But as it currently stands, to a lot of people, Jack Campbell is the man. But I think in a day, nobody can argue that Stuart Skinner has gone out and earned the next game. I am Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.